If there's one thing we know about Meghan Markle is she loves to write a letter. We were told that at the very start of her entree into royal life, calligraphy. I know, had to look it up. And and it's an art, isn't it? It's an art form, a dying art form, of course. But as I've said, Meghan, as we know, loves to write a letter. More recently, of course, she penned a direct letter to the international American superstar singer Taylor Swift, and that was rebuffed, which was very public and quite damaging, as one can imagine, for the brand. But it appears, though, that Meghan is not keen to write a letter to everyone. And as ever, let me explain. Hi, good morning. How are you? Nice to see you. Let's have a wave today. Lovely to have your company, whatever you're doing. Yes, it's interesting, isn't it, with Meghan? Because obviously these things come out publicly. If you recall, she wrote a letter, I think 2 letters, in fact, to His Majesty the King, in the hope that some things could be resolved. And sadly for Meghan, they couldn't, so things have been moved on. You know what it's like. But really, this particular story all stems back from a rather strange debacle only a couple of months ago now. When you think about it, they had hoped, both Harry and Meghan, that with, clever marketing, PR, them popping out for dinner, her popping up, seemingly wandering aimlessly at 2 a.m. in the morning, clutching a designer bag, would really move people away from that talking point. We're talking about Meghan when she turned up to New York for the Women in Vision Award, I think it was. Yes, I can't remember. Also meaningless now, aren't they? But of course, it was what happened afterwards. The fake car chase for over 2 hours around the streets of Manhattan, which then had the New York mayor pulled into question, and when he was laughing, saying it's impossible, couldn't have happened. They had a cab driver that drove them around. He denied that, didn't happen. And then, of course, the NYPD, the New York City Police Department, basically, they refuted all claims. Now, what's interesting, as we told you here on the show previously, is that Meghan herself, still believes this story, or they're sticking to it, at least, allegedly. And what's also fascinating is that, the New York City Police Department have now closed the case because insufficient evidence. It's a thing that seemingly keeps coming back to haunt Prince Harry, is it not? But what I do find strange about this particular story in general is really this. Meghan herself has yet to apologise to the mayor of New York City, whether that be a letter or a phone call. And as ever, we have to say allegedly, but we put a call into both. No, they haven't seen any sort of form of apology. Now, you would have thought, wouldn't you, a quick letter, even calligraphy or not, back to the New York City Police Department, who, after all, were very gracious enough to offer them security and protection while in the city, and obviously just apologising for the terrible debacle, whether they want to admit failure or not regarding that story, would have been the best thing to do. But according to all sources, no, they're simply not. Now, you would have thought in this brand new era of Harry and Meghan and trying to rebrand themselves, that would be the sort of thing that they would have leaked out, an apology saying, terribly sorry for all the inconvenience caused and for all the people involved. But seemingly not, because that possibly could be an admission of truth. And again, that's one thing seemingly that both Harry and Meghan have a problem with. As ever, it's a developing story, and when I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.